Down at the market, my local farmer tells me how my food is grown and comes to me. Not far from the city, the farmer is my neighbor. The freshest food is grown locally. There's a party in the kitchen, something smells good. I wonder who the chef could be. It's the kids in the kitchen.
Roll and stew, make and bake.
Kids in the kitchen.
Drizzle, sizzle, roast and toast.
Kids in the kitchen.
Slice and dice, mix and fix.
Kids are in the kitchen, cooking something yummy.
So this is the cow's ration that they get in the dairy. It's just a little bit of wheat, crushed wheat, biodynamic wheat with their mineral mix. There's seaweed minerals and dolomite lime and a few other minerals just to keep them nice and healthy.
Welcome once again to Kids in the Kitchen. I'm your host, Tricia Ziemer. Today we've travelled out about an hour and a half out of Melbourne, Victoria, to a beautiful little country town called Launching Place. We've come to a micro dairy farm run by Tyrone Brown and his family. They believe in fresh milk. This milk is produced daily and goes directly to community families that very day. It's an honour system where people come, pick up their milk and leave their sterile bottles behind. The difference is this milk is fresh. It's not standardised, it's not homogenised or freeze-dried. It is literally just pasteurised for health and safety. And it is stunningly fresh. It lasts about 2 weeks in your fridge, as long as you keep it about 4 degrees. More and more of these micro farms are springing up all over Victoria, where people want to taste their local milk. So milk doesn't go into a big truck to go off to a factory to be produced into several varieties of milk in your local store. Later in the show, we also meet up with Gabrielle Gatte to talk about fresh produce, and Tasha's in the kitchen doing a mango smoothie. Join us for Kids in the Kitchen.
So we're just mastitis prevention, you know. So just dipping my hands in the bucket to sanitise between cows. And the other thing to do is also spray a little bit of iodine on their teats. This is what's done for raw milk production in other parts of the world where they have regulated raw milk industries. So, and this, all you do is put a bit of iodine on there and leave it for a few minutes, and then we wipe it off when we dry them, and then the teats are sanitised as well. So Ivy here is one of our best girls. She's this is her first year of milk production, and yeah, she's producing very well, getting the most milk out of all the heifers, and she's got very nice type and a beautiful temperament. She's such a pleasure to have in the herd. She always comes up and gives you a kiss and a lick, and she's very friendly. So yes, anyway, they're all lovely, and they all have their flower names. Apparently it's a tradition for Jersey cows to be named after flowers, so we've followed that tradition, and they all have their flower names.
This is Sylvia. She's very kind as well. This one is apple blossom, and this one is lilac. The rest of them, the cows usually eat wheat.
Mostly they have wheat and barley.
Yeah. The calves were just getting born, and they went out in the paddock with their mums, and I loved to play with them when I was a bit smaller. I kind of pick a cow that's a very good friend of mine, and they kind of, it's almost like they look after me, and that kind of helps the calf, because I'm the calf trainer, which gets them really tame. Then I can start training, like we put these little leather halters on them, and then they start, you can grab the halter and you just kind of pat their back and their face kind of, and give them a scratch here if they can't get it themselves. And then they start kind of getting to know you, and they kind of like you. I started halter training her, like walking around with her. So the first thing I did was, with this bar, I got a lead rope and I tied her very tight so her nose was about here. And then she couldn't get away, but I know that kind of sounds a bit cruel, but they get that so that they know that the human is the boss. So you have to be firm with them. And then once we've done that, we put her out in the paddock, and she, with the halter and the lead rope still on, and it was dangling, so she got used to it. Whenever she stepped on it, I started holding the lead rope and just pulling really hard, and she did not want to go. But then when she took a step, I quickly released pressure. So she's like, oh, if I step, then it won't hurt me around here so much. So that's how you kind of teach them. And then I started taking her around outside. I started training her like to be brushed and to be petted and to be, you know, being all nice and tame and everything. And then I started being able to put a saddle rug on her. So I started being just able to put the rug on, and that was pretty cool. And then I got one of my friends brought a pony pad, sorry, and which is like a mini saddle for a pony. And we just kind of patted her and gave her food, and she was being very good. Then I was being very daredevilish out in the paddock with one of my friends, and she gave me a leg up, and she was just eating in the paddock, and she gave me a leg up, and I just sat on her back for at least a minute, and I'd never sat on her back before, and she was so tame and quiet. She just stood there like this, and I'm just like, whoa.